Hi everyone, I'm Freddie and I like to read. Another thing I like to do is to keep a reading journal of all of the books I read. I both track like stats, but I also like to write something about all the books I read. Another thing I like to do is to keep a reading journal where I track the books I read and also my goals. And I also like to write a bit about all the books I read. So today I'll be doing a flip through of my reading journal, which I have right here. I'll also be showing you how I update when I finish books, because I finished a couple books since last time I updated it. I'll try to mention where the supplies that I've used are from. If I remember, I'll try to link it in the description as well. But some are things that I bought years and years ago and I'm just still using, so I might not remember where I got it from. But let's switch to the top-down view so I can show you this bad boy. So here we have the top-down view of my current reading journal. So this journal is just one I found on the German Amazon site. The brand is called Stationery Island. I used the same type of journal last year and I really liked it, so I just bought the same one again. All of the stickers on the outside are from Redbubble. So we have some that are just kind of general, like these TBR and the reader stickers. And then there's just one more chapter is also general. The cat on a stack of books feels very fitting. Then this Fight Because You Don't Know How to Die Quietly is a reference to The Foxhole Court by Nora Sakavic. Wolves Have No Kings is a Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb reference. Read and Find Out, or RAFO, is something that Brandon Sanderson is known to say when he answers questions. And then back here, this is also Realm of the Elderlings. Now I got this in like the see-through vinyl, which I shouldn't have. I should have just gotten in the white one, and it's already kind of starting to take a bit too much damage. So my plan is to like buy a replacement one next time I order something from Redbubble, then order like the same art but in the white vinyl. This is also Realm of the Elderlings, and I love this artwork. So it's like seasons, and also then like fits in the full like throughout their life, and I love it so much. So that was everything that's on the outside of the journal. Now on the inside, I have this like cover page where it just says 2025 reading journal. This sticker is also from Redbubble. All of these like torn book pages are from an old translated Danish book that I got from my parents because they didn't want it anymore. And I didn't see myself ever reading it, so I decided to use it for scrapbooking. There's a lot of different stickers that are from Etsy shops, and I honestly lost track of which stickers came from where, so I'm just going to put all of the ones that I've bought from in the description. Now, this was like the last thing I did in the journal, and I was kind of creatively quite burned out. So I kept it relatively simple because I didn't really have the energy to come up with anything more interesting. Then if you flip, it starts with my reading goals. So you'll notice probably that a lot of this journal will be written in like a mix of Danish and English. That's just how my brain functions. But my goals are that I want to catch up to 12 series. I've already caught up to one. I want to read 12 books in Danish. I want to read 12 books on my Kindle. I want to read 6 horror books, 6 historical fiction, 6 nonfiction. Then I also want to read just 120 books in general and get my physical TBR down below 100. That was the goal I had last year as well. I got it down to 130 from 178. So this year, I think I can get it below 100. Fingers crossed. Then over here, it's kind of a year in pixels where I track how much I read. So this is minutes read, not pages read, just because I find it easier when I'm doing both like audiobook and physical reading to just add up how much time I've been reading. So that's what this is. And then my Goodreads goal, very self-explanatory, 120 boxes. I fill out a box when I finish a book. And then books read, this will be filled with like the covers of all the books that I've read. So I have an HP Sprocket 200, I think it's called. I have it here, I can show. It's this little like photo printer that just hooks up to my phone, and I can print on like sticker photo paper, which I use for my reading journal. And this has a Dutch door, so I can fill it out because there's room for 120 books in total. And I look forward to seeing this. It's very satisfying to see it when it starts getting filled out. So I look forward to that. And here we have, this is kind of a new thing I haven't done before, monthly faves, where I'll put in like the covers for each month, what my favorite book was. I don't know. It's a very light pen, so now you can see it. So I've just kind of marked the beginning letter because I couldn't figure out a way. I wanted to use this paper, but I couldn't figure out a way to like make it fit where I could write the month next to it or above it or something. So I just kind of did it like this. And over here, this is my author backlog. So this is like a little pocket, and I've made these little cards. So for now I have Brandon Sanderson. I've already read Win and Truth. And then there's a lot of books. And then Will White as well. I really like his Cradle series, and I want to read his other works. And then I have extra papers for if I think of any other authors where I have a lot of books that I want to read by them. Yeah, and then I can fill that out as I go along. This is also new. I'm looking forward to trying it out. And then here is my 2025 TBR. So these, as I mentioned, are printed with my sprocket. And I have a video about this, like these books and why I picked these. These are all books I own physically. Yeah. And then here is my physical TBR. So in total, I have 130 books. I use an app called Bookshelf. I'll put the icon on the screen because I'm using my phone to film, so I can't show you what it is. And then I've just ordered them by author alphabetically. And then I'll mark off if I read or if I unhaul. So this is also a Dutch store. Yes, 130 is quite a lot of books. Then here I've kind of made it so I can write how much did I start with at the beginning of the year? What do I have at the end of each month? And then like, what do I end with at the end of the year? And do I get it under 100? We'll see. And then over here, I have a page for if I haul any books, I can add them here. Last year, I had like a full 2-page spread for haul books, but I didn't even fill out one. So I hope that this will be enough. Otherwise, I'll add like a tip in or something. And then Series Tracker, another Dutch store. I basically have had the same series tracker set up since the beginning because I like it. I saw it in someone else's video back in 2021, and I don't remember which, but very similar layout to what I do. So I go from this end. So this is book 1 or book 0.5 or whatever is in the series. So I can add more if more come out during the year. And then if they're marked with this like light purplish pinkish color, then I read them before 2025. And if I read them in 25, then I'll mark them with black so it really stands out which ones I've read this year. And then if I DNF any series, I'll put an X through all of the boxes. So you might notice I only have 3 Brandon Sanderson series so far. I have a lot of other series, I just haven't filled them out yet. I have a Dutch store, and there's room for 10 series on each page. So I have room for 40 series in total, and I hope that'll be enough. It was more than enough last year, but we'll see. And then here I have my stats page. So I have, keeping it pretty simple, I have books, pages read, whether it was physical, ebook, audio, or a mix. So I'm keeping my tracking very simple. I'm not tracking a lot of things this year because I've had problems early, like in previous years, where I just like kind of stopped tracking because I was tracking too many things, and then I kind of lost interest in it. So I'm trying to bring back the stats page this year and just track a few things. And then this publication year page is new. I've never done this before, but I figured it would be kind of interesting to see how many books I read from like different time periods. So I have, of course, 25 and 24 are their own pages. So far, I've read several books that came out in 24. And then 20 to 23 is their own. then the 10s, the aughts, from the 50s to the 90s, from the 1900 to the 50s, and then anything before 1900. I'm very much looking forward to seeing like how this develops. And then I have here a book bingo, and all of the prompts are from the r/fantasies yearly bingo. So this is from 2024 because they start the bingo in April, and I just like to start it in the beginning of the year. But since I don't have, the new bingo for this year, I just figured I would do 2024. And then over here, I figure what I'll do is I'll like color these in when I fill the prompt, and then I'll put the book covers over here. I do love having book covers. I just think it's very nice to look at. And then here I have my A2 challenge, because the Danish alphabet has like these 3 extra letters that some of them are shared. A couple of the Swedes and the Norwegians also have some of them, but I don't think anyone else has all 3. And then as you can see here, this is the first book I read. I'll put the book covers in, and I think it'll look very satisfying. And then this is a Dutch store that's a different orientation. So I tried to do this in like my first reading journal and didn't really enjoy it, but I was just writing it on a list. And now I think with like pictures, I might be able to keep up with it a bit more. But we'll see. I look forward to see how it turns out. And then here is this I actually made in Canva and printed out, because I want to reread The Realm of the Elderlings this year by Robin Hobb. Because last year I finally got around to, I read both the short stories and then also the Rainwild Chronicles. So now I've read all of The Realm of the Elderlings, but I've read them like out of the recommended order. So this time I want to read them in the recommended order. It's a bit ambitious, but I'm hoping to do it this year. I really love this series. I'll link the file that I printed out. So if anyone wants to do this, or it doesn't have to be a reread, of course, it could be just a read. But you can have this and print it out if you want to keep track like this. And then we come to what I do for like the actual journal pages. So I don't, sorry, my camera's falling a little bit. So what I don't do monthly pages. I tried that, but it didn't work for me. So what I did instead, I saw someone who did a video on this in 2023, I think, and showing like how they did it, and I kind of copied that. So what I do is I like prepare pages for 10 books at a time, and I have like a little cover page. I have like this index of the books, and then you can see the ones I've already filled out look like this. So I put the name of the book, the author, when I read it, the rating, and then I write my thoughts. And then I have this cover that I've printed on my sprocket. So this is a full-size sprocket print. And then you can see what it looks like when it's not filled out. I just have these blank pages that are ready for when I finish a book. And I finished a couple of books since last time that I will be filling out today. So as you can see, this is book number 10, and then I just have the rest of the journal is blank, but I've like counted out that I have room for 120 books. And then like when I get to like book 7 or 8 or something, so I'm needing the next pages, I'll fill this out. Or if I'm just feeling like journaling, feeling like being creative and doing some scrapbook journaling, I will also fill it out. I've already printed out the covers because I print it on my phone and I'm using my phone to film, so I can't do both at the same time. But I have some for like the books read, which are these where I do like 4 books on one page. And then I have these 3 books that I've read since last time that I'll be filling out to show you how I do it. Just finding my supplies. So I use some different sizes of Micron, pick my Micron pens, and then this Muji 0.38 in black I use for different things. And then I have these that it was like a pack of mild highlighters that I bought, and I don't remember where. I'll link them. I don't remember what they were called, but I like the colors, so I use like these different ones for filling out some things. So let's get right into it. So I'll show you what I do with this first one, and then I'll time lapse through the other two because I finished 3 books and I'm not going to talk through all of them. That would be a very long video if I did, but I'll show you, and then I'll go through how I fill out like the yearly pages. So first I've marked like the corner, and this is mostly so if I fill out the page before I have it printed, then I remember not to write on this section. And these are quite easy to use. You just go like so. And I have this sticker, and I can see like it's this far down. And I know this is where I put it. Of course, I get cat hairs caught everywhere. And then I fill out the title, and I do this in the 03. Of course, the author. And I'm writing it kind of crooked because I normally turn everything sideways when I write, so it's going to look a bit odd, but I'm fine with that. And I started this on the 15th of January. I finished it on the 17th of January. And I gave it 4 stars. So I know like you can get stickers or stamps or something with stars you can fill out. I just draw like the amount of stars and fill them out. So it's not like the prettiest stars, but it works. I don't really have I don't have any stamps, so I don't want to start like buying stamps just to have a star stamp. And I could buy stickers, but I haven't, so no. And then I'm just gonna write down some thoughts on the book, and I think it'll be easier for me if I turn everything a little bit. So I'll just fast forward through filling this one out and the next ones. So now I've written my thoughts on the books I read, and now we'll move on to filling out my yearly pages. So we'll start by just going all the way to the front, because we'll be filling out these reading goals first. So let me think. I think it's only that one of them was Danish, because I wasn't catching up to any series, and I wasn't. Nope. So Aldrig for Evigt was it was a Danish book. So I'm just gonna color this in. Whoop. And then while that dries, I'll just color in my reading for the last couple of days. Because let's see, Thursday I read 2 hours, so that's the dark blue. And then Friday, I read about an hour, I would say. So it's going to be the light blue. I don't think I read more than an hour, but probably just about an hour. And then I read, yeah, probably 45 minutes or something. So that's that for Saturday. And then today is not over yet, and I haven't read more than 2 hours today. So I'm not filling that out yet. But that's how I fill out these trackers. And of course, this one, very simple. That's the wrong end. This is like a dual. I fill out. Then we get to this. Because for this, I print out like every time I have 4 books because that fits on a page. So I'm just gonna I don't manage to cut it completely straight, and it's like obvious, then I just take off a bit more. So it's in this order. So again, pretty self-explanatory. There we go. So I first read Truth. So that was the first ones here filled in, and I can't wait until they're all filled in. It's so satisfying. Nothing to fill out here because I already checked off that I read Wind and Truth. And I'm not done with January yet, so I can't pick a favorite. Here, I did read this from my TBR. Gave 4 stars. And again, since I'm filming, like the angle is a bit different than what I normally do. I feel like these are the worst stars I have ever drawn in any journal ever. But it's fine. I understand what it says, and that's the most important part. I don't really mind that they're not the prettiest stars. And then those two of them were 2 of the books I read were books I owned physically. So let's just see. Chloe Bauer should be pretty early over here. And then I think it's under Rick Riordan. Oh, here we go. No parts of series. Do have the publication years of these 3. So let's see. The Sun and the Star was published in 2023. ROTE was in 2015. And Aldrig for Evigt was published last year. And now finally I have something other than 2024 on the publication year chart. That's nice. So the book bingo, I'm kind of waiting to fill out until several of the books could like fit several categories, but I'm not sure which ones will be the most difficult to fill out. I'm waiting a bit until I have some more books. Alphabet challenge, though, I have printed out 4 book covers for. This one is a bit easier to decide to fill out because it's so simple compared to the prompts of the bingo. So we have the first one is Blood of the Old Kings. Like so. Then we have everything else is on the next page, I think. It's the sun and the star, and I'm not counting the or and those kinds of things. So the sun and the star will be going for S. And we have Wind and Truth. And Uprooted. Of course, Aldrig for Evigt does also fit. I don't have an A yet, but I need 4 books. Since I already had Voyage and Damned, I could get up to Uprooted, but this is what it looks like now. And nothing here, and I forgot to fill out this part. So, yeah. And that's how I fill out my reading journal. So now for this section, filled up to book number 6, and I have 4 more pages left. That was the flip through of my 2025 reading journal. I'll also be doing a flip through of my previous reading journals because I've kept a reading journal since 2021. So I'll be showing you all my finished reading journals and how it's kind of evolved how I do my reading journal. So I'm curious, do you keep a reading journal? If so, how long? And if not, are you thinking about starting one? I can only recommend it. I find it immensely satisfying to fill out mine. Anyways, thank you for sticking to the end, and I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time. Bye.